What's good? What's good? What's good? Another Tuesday night at 9. Prototype Dad. What's good, fellas? How y'all feeling this week?
Man,
Yeah,
good, man. I see y'all survived.
yeah.
Yeah. He's on it. I've been doing pretty good with the no drinking this year, man. There's been a couple times that you know what I mean? Like when I went to Houston, I drank, but that was about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've been on some. Like, why you thinking that? That was about it though. Other than that, man, I haven't really been on it, man. And it's really due to I've been on that medication. That's one thing that's been making sure I've been staying up, and I don't want to mix it. But if I probably would have failed if it wasn't for that though. But we got some guests coming. You know how I guess they on CP time, man. They'll get here when we get here. And we got some good old faithfuls. What's good, hit?
What up? What up, son? What you talking about CPT, man? Don't be doing that, man. Don't be stereotyping, man. Don't be
But
stereotyping.
we wasn't even talking about you though. See, you see,
Nah,
what is it? A hit dog holler.
Only a hit dog holler.
nah, man. You stereotyping and whatnot, man.
Hey, you know what time we log on? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We've
yo,
been doing we like 20 episodes in at this point.
yo, a couple times you was late. Know what I'm
Never.
saying? But I ain't pointing fingers.
There's a time I didn't hit the live button though, but that's a one time that's a one time deal though.
Look, that was the Too Hot for TV episode.
Man, that was a good episode. We're going to recreate that some way somehow, man. We're gonna get them guys back up. But no, so y'all know what the day is. We're a week away from Valentine's Day, and I kind of wanted to talk about it. You know what I mean? It sounds kind of like out of our topic scope, but so much is pushed to us. You know what I'm saying? Like I walked into Publix today and I just seen nothing but big balloons and it was stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like it's stupid. You know what I mean? I'm like, dang. Well, and then you hear like, oh, it's only just for women. But you know what I'm saying? I like stuff too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I guess I guess the first question, man, is I guess what's the most you've ever done on a Valentine's Day? Anybody go for look. Everybody like, ooh. We all had wives at some point.
Yo, so traditionally, we never really did nothing huge on Valentine's Day. Because next month was a birthday, and I usually did it like really, really big. Um, but I think the most I think I did like Chateau Lawn. Um, I did like a whole like a weekend getaway at Chateau Lawn. Like it came with like food, like a jacuzzi, like a massage. It came with a whole lot. I think that was probably the most that I ever did. You know what I mean? Like as far as like Valentine, I'm just trying to think. But like with the men, I don't know if you know this, but they say like when it's a leap year, that's the only time the men get something for Valentine's Day. You heard that?
I've never heard that.
Yeah. So if it's a leap year, then the women's supposed to buy the men something. Look, look at Mo's face.
You already know. It's
Like,
gonna
but
be a long night.
that's how it's supposed to go. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Leap year, they supposed to buy, the men something. Other than that, then it is a woman's holiday,
Man, I mean, you want to go next
Yo,
month?
yeah, look, man, I've done a lot. Look, so and we've talked about this before, me and Vic. For me, man, like once you cross that final boss, like man, I'm tricking. So I'm gonna be honest, man. So I can't even remember if this was actually Valentine's Day, but it was around that time. I remember because their birthday was, man. I remember I did the helicopter ride, and you went through the city and went sundown and all that. And so, that's for those that ain't in Atlanta, that's the restaurant on top of a hotel that spins and it kind of gives you the view of the city or whatever. I don't know what, like $115 a plate, somewhere around there. You know what I mean? Um, Man, I could have put that in the stock somewhere, but whatever. But yeah, man. Man, I like to show appreciation, but I don't necessarily think it has to be just on Valentine's Day. But I expect it to be reciprocated as well, though. So it's for me. I don't feel it's a one-sided engagement, though.
No, that's real, man. I don't know. I mean, you trust me. You ain't the biggest trick around. You know, there's some other ones on this call.
We got a paymaster out here.
Yo,
Who to pay?
It ain't tricking if you got it. That's what they say, right?
That's a lie. That's a lie.
It's still tricking.
Man, it's only tricking if you got it. Because if you ain't got it, you ain't tricking nothing. But yeah, I mean, I don't even know, man. It's crazy for me, Gil, because my wife's birthday is 2 days after Valentine's Day. So for me, it's always like this mesh, but I can't do the same thing for each. It's always got to be something different. So it's always like a production for Valentine's Day and a production for a birthday. But and if it's a like a major milestone, birthday, then it's like a super production. But yeah, I mean, I've tricked off some cash, man, like lots. And I can't even remember even specific things. I just remember the bank statement the next day. And I'm like, what happened? Like I might even like rented out whole, clubs and stuff before, and for that type of stuff. And yeah, I've spent lots of money. So it's tricking if you got it. And it's stupid if you don't got it. But yeah, man, I mean, that money could have definitely went somewhere else for sure.
Yo, Vic, hold on. How did I forget? I'm talking about helicopter. I didn't change the weather. What am I? Never mind. Different show.
No,
Different show. Your turn.
No, I mean, so I've never done nothing to y'all extent, man. I'm new money here. Like y'all do is old money, so I'm just now getting to it, man. And I mean, the most I've ever done was like a cabin trip. You know what I'm saying? And like that's the most I've done. I mean, for real. I mean, I've done some. I've because I haven't had it. I had to be on the more romantic side of things. You know what I'm saying? The rose petal on the hotel floor. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta be decorative. You know what I'm saying with my situations. So like it's the heart thing. It's the effort, right? That's what I banked on. You know what I'm saying? So I never really went crazy with it. You want to hear something? You want to hear a wild story? I had a girlfriend when I was 16, right? I planned this elaborate date for her. For that time, it was a good thing. I even borrowed my mom's whip. You know what I'm saying? If you borrow the mom's whip, you know what I'm saying, you going hard, right? So I pull up to her crib. As soon as I pull up, there's a dude leaving. I ain't even lie, right? So I was just like, dang, I'm gonna just keep it G. I planned such a good day. I wanted to do the date anyway. So I was just like, word, man, we just gonna go through the day. Act like I didn't say nothing the whole day. The whole night. Picked her up, went through the day. We went to the movies, we went to the mall, took her shopping. You know what I'm saying? That was big for a 16-year-old, you know what I'm saying? And had a nice dinner, took her back to the crib, knocked it down, had the candle lights, you know what I'm saying? My mom went to school that night, you know what I'm saying? So I had the candles set up, you know what I mean? Knocked it down, took her to the crib and like, we broke up, right? Like right after the day. I mean, because I just wanted to do the day, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, dang, like, all right, somebody moving in on my guts. You know what I'm saying? So I might as well go ahead and get it one last time.
Planted their flag, like
yeah, I might as well go ahead and do this one last hurrah. You know what I'm saying? So
Jesus.
But yeah, no, my biggest things has always been the rose petals and come over, I'll cook for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not guy. I'll cook for you. I make my chicken and shrimp Alfredo for you, baby. You know what I'm saying? I ain't always had the bucks to go ahead and splurge on the Valentine's Day.
Yo, so that like in my early days, I used to do poems, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that's it.
I can't even imagine it. I can't even see that. I can't see that coming out of you.
Yo, let's hear it.
Hey, spit one.
Spit 16.
Nah, so that's back in the day. That's when I had a heart.
Look, your heart didn't turn cold now.
Yo,
Is it hot?
Chicken wings and fries. We don't go on dates.
Hey,
yo.
he turned it in for a hoe kit.
It went from it went from Route Trans Vans the future. You know what I'm saying? I can put my thumb up in the butt. You know what I'm saying? Like,
We get demonetized.
Hey, it's a
Nah.
cold world out here. Hit me. It's a cold
Yeah.
world.
Hey, but it's gonna wrap in at the end because I know we got some childhood stories that we got from Valentine's Day. But so I mean, the next question is, how would y'all, what kind of things would you, how would you want to celebrate your Valentine's Day if it was like for you, or if it's a reciprocal situation? What would you want out of the day? And I already know I got an idea what Leaf is going to say because he's just a selfless dude. But what would y'all want for you?
No, for me, man, I'm all about effort. So I'm selfless, but man, like I said before, man, it has to be reciprocated. So, but I mean, I don't need nothing extra. You know what I mean? Like, but I think what would be dope for me, man, have a chef come to the crib, have a masseuse come to the crib, get us right. You know what I mean? Let's do it that way. I don't, my thing is I don't even have to leave the crib no more, man. Let's just go and make it special where we at and go from there. Man, I'm not hard to please, but at the same time, man, the effort is appreciated on my end. So just something simple, but it just shows a little bit of effort.
I think I'm even simpler than that, man. I just with the old adage, you know what I'm saying? Fill my stomach and empty my balls, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just yeah, that's
Hit me
real
on off
simple,
that
man.
ashwagandha tonight, boy.
That's how I tell you. Look, this is real, like, you know what I'm saying, for all the women out there. For all the women out there. It's really not that hard to please a man, though. It's really simple. We really simple creatures, dog. You know what I mean? It don't take a lot. I don't need no rose. I don't need none of that. So the massage be great, but when it comes down to everything, bring it down to the last compound, them two things, man. Fill the stomach, empty the balls, man. You know what I'm saying? It was a great day, dog. Today was a good day.
Look, honey pack shorty out here giving the State of the Union. Jesus.
Go ahead, Lever. What you got, bro?
I mean, it's like you said, man. I'm pretty selfless, man. I'm more of a giver, you know what I mean, than somebody who's looking to receive. Although, like Mo said, man, it's all about the effort, man. I don't need all the, you know what I mean. Anything I ever wanted in the world, I bought it for myself already. So you know what I mean. I could do whatever I want, whenever I want. So all that stuff don't mean nothing to me, but you know what I mean? Somebody taking the time to remember that, something I like to eat, or you know what I mean, remembering, these pair of socks that I was looking at when we were at the store, something like that. That type of stuff means, more than anything to me. Like I don't really care about the glitz and the gold, the glamour and the gold. Just, some thoughtful stuff, and that's good enough for me, especially if you get my favorite kind of chicken meal or something like that, and I walk in the house with that. That's it. That'll be a dope Valentine's Day. Or a little shut the up. You know what I mean? Like a good day where you don't complain about nothing. You know what I mean? And everything is just right. It don't matter what I do. Like that'll be the best Valentine's Day gift ever.
No, I knew he was going to say something like that, bro. No, I mean, for me, I guess it is about the effort, right? I would want the same things that I'm dishing out. I don't dish out much though. You know what I'm saying? It's something as simple as if I pay for I'm paying for dinner, you get the tip. Like, you know what I'm saying? And along that line of assist in the efforts of the successfulness of the day. You know what I'm saying? So if we go somewhere and I don't care, you pull out a coupon like, hey, I got a coupon for this. Let's get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's more the assist of the efforts. Like add to the situation and don't let it just be me entertaining. It's a group of it's me and her making it work for whatever the situation. Like, oh, we could do this and we do it, and you got this, I got that, and or it's not even a payment thing. It's just a add to the day. You know what I mean? And I'm good. I'm straight with that. But So I guess, I mean, that goes into the next question, right? Like, is this day just for women? That evidently is not, right? So we just the advertisements, how they hit us. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's out there. Nothing's out there for us. You know what I'm saying? So is there anything? How could I word this? I had it worded, but is there anything that we could kind of persuade, or are we the type of dudes that like will give hints? Like, should we give hints on what we want, or because who's going to know to assist in a day or bring home your favorite chicken? You know what I'm saying? Or should we say something about that, or should we just, hey, if it happened, it happened. If it don't, it don't.
So, man, what I've learned is you gotta communicate what's your non-negotiables, and you gotta communicate what your expectations are, man. Because if you just leave it up to them, you're gonna be disappointed every time. Like,
There's not a bomb I could drop for that.
Oh, that's a
yo,
bomb right there. Boom.
There's not. That's the atomic bomb. Like, if you don't express, if you don't communicate to them what you, I've never met anybody that just did what you're supposed to do without you having to reinforce. I need this. I need this. I need this. I want this. I want this. That's corny though. I don't like that though.
yeah, but I mean, and the only reason it's annoying is because we don't get that same grace. But because we gotta almost be mind readers. But look, man, sometime, man, you gotta help me. So you know what I mean? Like, man, drop a hint. Hell, sometimes you just gotta be brutally honest, man. Like, hey, it would be great if, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, man, I think that, you'll be better off for it. Because if you don't, they gonna be like, here's this sock, here's this tie. You be like, really? So to avoid that, definitely communicate what your expectations are.
No, that's definitely real. Um, so since we prototype dads, we got to kind of tie it in, right? So I think we all got teenagers at this point. How have y'all incorporated this day with, like, have y'all took advantage to say, like, this is what you should do, this is what you should expect at either age? You know what I'm saying? Like, to either show them how they should treat their future, or vice versa. What have y'all done to incorporate your children into how to function on the Valentine's Day?
So the crazy thing for me, man, and it's crazy because I just had this conversation with my daughter. She got, I talked about it in a couple other episodes. She got this little guy friend, and like this year is the first year I ever seen her like trying to do something for him, and I'm like, this is great. I'm like, you're thinking a lot about this guy. You got him a gift and everything. I was like, I'm hoping he's thinking the same about you. You're getting him a gift or something like that. Because typically Valentine's Day, you think of it as, a woman or a girl receiving something, not a girl going out to figure out something thoughtful to do for a dude. So I'm like, you on the right track. You know what I mean? I can appreciate that, but I just hope it's reciprocated.
Where do you
But
think she learned that from?
I don't know. Because I mean, I have conversations all the time about reciprocation and the importance of understanding the needs of, you know what I mean, your friend or a significant other or somebody that you care about, and that it's not all about you. But I don't know if she got that from those conversations, or maybe she's watching, shows or TV. Because we even went to the point of like uh Googling like Valentine's Day, like it's Valentine's Day just for girls. And it was like, no, Valentine's Day is about, sharing gifts with loved one, well, with the person you love or whatever like that. And it would not say it was just specifically for a girl. And we even went further and looked up Sweetest Day. And it looked like those are like gifts for loved ones. It doesn't necessarily have to be a significant other, but like we were just having that conversation about this reciprocality of the holiday, but how it's often, you know what I mean, just kind of woman facing.
Aimed out.
Yeah,
Yeah. What's
yeah.
Sweetest Day? What is that?
It's like in October or something like that, and it's like I guess just like kind of like a Valentine's Day before anybody you kind of just care about. It could be a friend, it could be what I mean, a coworker, be anybody that you just care about and you want to give a gift to or something, or want to just show something to. I mean, that's the the definition we got from Google. I mean, when I was in school, it was like, it was kind of like another Valentine's Day, but it was like towards the guys. You know what I mean? Like the girls would do something for the guys, but I don't know. They changed
That's
the
not the
definition of
blowjob day, is
everything.
it? The
I,
blowjob and steak day.
I I did not even know that that was a day, but I'm trying to figure out what day that is so I can let my wife know.
I
And
think
I
it's
give it.
I think it's the 15th, yo. It's blowjob and steak day. Steak and
Oh, I
That's
need
blowjob
to.
sad
Yeah,
chick
yeah,
Sunday.
yeah, yeah. I need to figure
No,
out what day that is. But yeah, but not only that, but just even a step further, like I mean, every year, when I get my wife something for Valentine's Day, like I always get my daughter something. Like it's not, you know what I mean, like from the beginning. It was like my wife she might got a big bouquet of flowers and some candy, and we go out to dinner or something like that, or get a massage, and my daughter she'll get like a single rose and a small little Dollar Tree candy with a card, and you know what I mean, something like that. So I always like my daughter was always my Valentine too. So you know what I mean. I always made sure she felt the same that I was, same love that I was giving my wife at every turn, so she knew what it would feel like. You know what I mean? If when a guy you know, thinks about her on Valentine's Day or a holiday or something, or you know what I mean, shows love to her, she knows what that looks like.
Oh, that's dope. I imagine y'all two took the same approach.
Yo, so I actually got a story from my son, right? So I think he was like in middle school. I can't remember which grade it was. And he had hit his mom up. So she was coming home from work. And so she's calling me, like, look, he's asking me to get, a beer. I think it was a beer or something because he wanted to get it for this girl, but he didn't ask me. He asked her. So she couldn't get it. So I had to end up going out and getting it, right? So he get this stuff. I mean, it was like a whole commotion. Everybody going back and forth trying to figure out how to get him this beer. So he goes to school. He gives it to this Valentine. He comes back home. So I asked him, I said, yo, what you get? He was like, none. I said, I said, uh, I said, well, you know what, son? I said, today's your first day that you became a simp. You know what I'm saying? This is your first simp experience. You know what I'm saying? And I need you to learn from this. You know what I'm saying? Right? This is real talk, man. I had a real conversation with him about it, about overextending yourself, you know what I'm saying, and understanding, you know what I'm saying, understanding the nature of the relationship. Because obviously you're a lot further than she is. You know what I'm saying? And about doing things just to do them. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure you're doing it for the right person. You know what I mean? Because like he seen me do a lot for his mom, and I didn't want him to mistake that. Well, that's how you're supposed to treat women. You're supposed to treat the right woman like that, not just anybody. You know what I'm saying? So that's my. I think he learned a lot because I don't think he ever asked for a Valentine's Day gift since. I ain't heard you ask for one since.
No, that's dope. Go ahead, Mo.
Yeah, that man. Look, I got a similar story of my own growing up, but we'll say that for later. But yeah, so for me, man, one of the things that I do, I was always very intentional about it with my daughter. So even when I was married, man, essentially, kind of to Leifer's point, man, whatever at the time my wife or now my lady or fiance or whatever, man, I always got her whatever she saw I was getting my significant other. Granted, it might be to a lesser extent because it's not age appropriate, whatever, right? But just recently, what I've learned is it was she was just seeing the give, as in she was only the receiving, and I saw it as in one of her friends. It was actually for Christmas. Did he made a total effort to bring and provide, and he was like, yeah, here you go. And I was like, oh no, we ain't doing that. So what I've learned is there needs to be a certain level of, hey, this is I that's your expectation, but you also need to be providing that same level of effort and that same level of reciprocation, because I mean she's pretty dope in the fact that she's not going for anything because she's been pretty well treated for her entire life. But I saw that it was thank you. That's kind of I mean she appreciated it, but it wasn't like, oh yeah, I didn't put a whole lot of effort into the reciprocation of her gift. And I was like, okay, this is a teachable moment. And that's when like I still talk about it, and that was in December, and I'm still kind of like, hey, make sure that we're giving out the same kind of energy and vibes that we expect to return to get back. So hope we'll see, but
Hey,
man,
hey,
it's definitely
that's
been a teachable moment.
that's super dope that you even caught that. You know what I mean? To address that, man, and just like don't. Okay, so what I want to ask: do you teach her not to accept gifts that she's not willing to give out?
100%. And don't entertain somebody that, the whole friend zone, whatever. Like, yo, if there's no chance of y'all even being what that person says they want, be upfront and be like, hey, that's not what I'm about or whatever. Don't be giving these mixed signals or don't be giving this false hope just because you want the attention, you want the gifts, you want and I think that goes back to actually having a father. And I was like, yo, that's not okay. Like, we're not doing that because, man, people egos get hurt out here. So I was like, nah, we're not playing that game. You know what I mean? If they don't, if that's not what you want, say so. And that's okay.
Yo, I got to chime in real quick because I heard a trend that's going. So I'm into the fellas that's saying they bought their daughters something lesser than they provided the significant others. So towards the end, the last few years, when I really wasn't, it was kind of thing was dissolving. I actually was getting my daughter the better gift. You know what I'm saying? So is that looked at as is this frowned upon? You know what I mean? Is that looked at as wrong? Because like I would get her I would like give her something extravagant, like it was nice, but I wasn't getting her mom nothing. You know what I'm saying? So like
No, you cold blooded, man.
I know,
You
man. Like
cold blooded.
'cause I
However,
figured,
but no,
but that I would,
so
you know what I'm saying?
so it's cold blooded. But I mean, obviously, I'm on the other side of it now. So it could have been now. Granted, your daughter might not even have saw or understood it, but it could be like, hey, I'm not getting what I'm supposed to get in this situation, so that's why they're getting a lesser gift. You're providing me as my daughter what I want you to provide. So here, because I do the same thing when it comes to like tipping. Like if I don't get good service, like I don't not tip, I just give you a really disrespectful tip. Yeah, disrespectful. Like $3. They be like, they come back, Trace.
They come back. They come back like you could have kept that.
Well, you could have gave me a better service, Trace.
Yo, but you gotta understand how psychological like Hitme's playing psychological warfare with his ex, yo.
Nah, it wasn't so. Nah, yo, nah, nah.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
definitely what that was.
no, it wasn't even that. It was like, yo, I wanted to
Iceberg
pour
Slim.
like I'm pouring into that. Like everything I'm losing on this side, I'm gonna pour into that. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, I'm doing something and that is it's received, but I know this person is with me. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't
Yo,
psychological warfare, man. Don't say
you're
that.
building up the animosity and the hate coming from the other side though. It's building each like you know what I'm saying. Let's say you come home and you would do this. Let's say you'll come home with a diamond necklace, teddy bears, chocolate, and be like, "Here, baby girl." And then her mom be looking at you. You don't even have nothing for.
Look,
What could you
here's
even
your
give her?
card.
Yeah,
Here's
here's
your
your
card.
card. I thought about you. You know what I'm saying? Or if you
Here's
gave
your
her a
card.
dozen roses, there's nothing you can give her after you done gave your daughter a diamond necklace and the chocolates and the beers and you know what I'm saying, and a new outfit, some new shoes, and you bougie when it comes to shoes. So I already know you. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna get her the flies, new Jordans out, whatever. She gonna come home with 10 gifts. It's like it's Christmas, and you would give her mom a card.
I'm gonna hand her a Walmart bag.
A gift card. You're gonna
Sandwich
give her
life.
an Amazon gift card.
I'll be like, here.
Here's the Amazon gift card. Get what you want. It'd be $40 on it. No, that's warfare right there, dog. No, so I've dropped the ball on that. Like I like these shows help me realize how bad of a dad I guess I was to to my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like trying. I don't think I've ever gotten her like a Valentine's Day gift or anything like that. Or it was always a me trying to teach her how to be tough, how to not receive. You know what I'm saying? Like how to not be shallow. That type of. It was always about the hard lessons and never about the love. And I think that's probably where I messed up at. You know what I'm saying? Because it was never about love. It was always about you gotta grind, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. Ain't nobody gonna help you. You know what I'm saying? It was always about the iron sharpening the iron. But I heard somebody. It was just today. I heard somebody say like iron sharpens iron, and as we're doing now, we're sharpening each other or whatever. But women are not iron, and men are iron. Women are soft, and you know what I'm saying. And I'm over here treating her like, it's not. I didn't treat her like a little boy, but I treated her like, I guess, one of those, like, you got to be independent. Don't depend on nobody, or you know what I mean. But it's also from a point of I seen so much potential in her that I didn't have, like as far as her intelligence level. Like, man, you're too smart to mess this up. You know what I'm saying? You got these skills that I never had. We're pushing, and I saw all I did was focus on pushing, 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 and that's probably where I messed up because I don't recall me ever just being sweet, kind of sensitive to my daughter. It's as weird as it may sound. So I definitely probably just dropped the dropped the ball as a dad on that completely. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Well, I think that's just the balance. You know what I mean? Like I think like you went so hard in one direction. Like I feel like if you would have just been able to pull it back a little bit and be able to meet halfway somewhere, like even if it was just like adding some of those Valentine's Day gifts in there with your approach, I think it would happen. Because yeah, and I'm not gonna act like I'm doing it the right way because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but you know what I mean? I'm hard on my daughter the same way. Like I push her, like I see what you're good at, I see what you excel at, and I'm pushing you hard to get there. But in the same time, you know what I mean? I'm making sure every day I'm like, I love you. I'm hugging, even though man, hugs they kind of make me cringe a little bit, but I know she loves them. So I hug her every day, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean, Valentine's Day gifts, things like that. And I take her out on dates, things like that, so she can, feel feel the love. You know what I mean? I try to balance it a little bit with that hard approach because I don't, her mom thinks I'm making her into a dude, but I'm like, I'm not trying to make her to a dude, but I want to make her be able to have some kind of emotional intelligence. So she's not just reacting emotionally all the time over everything. Like, okay, feel your emotions, understand your emotions, and then react logically if you can. And if you can't, then I understand it. But I try to put that in her so she can, so she doesn't lose her goddamn mind before she leaves my house. But I try to balance it out, and whether that's going to be a successful approach or not, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But our relationship is pretty good right now, so I'm liking what it's looking like. But we'll see as she continues to get in these teenage years. But yeah, man, I think if you would have had just a little bit of balance on that other end, I think it might have been a different situation.
it actually a lot of balance. Now that I'm reflecting, you know what, and a lot of it's due to probably how I felt about our mom. You know what I mean? Also, because she wasn't my favorite person. Uh, I had a whole goal on not making sure she wasn't going to be like her mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you cannot be like her. So, um, even one thing I noticed and one thing I feared. I don't know if y'all dealt with this. Everybody got daughters. Um, is the flirtiness, like them being like flirty, like my daughter used to be like really, really like flirty and like bat their eyes and sit on your lap and try to, like, you know what I mean, like. I don't want to say this, but I don't know how else to say it. But you know how a stripper would treat you. You know what I'm saying? And certain women are like that. Like, or some women are sweet like that. Like, hey, and you know what I mean? And I was just like, and I was shun it. I was shunning the whole behavior. And I probably shouldn't have, like, you know what I mean? And I was shun it and be hard. Like, get off me. Don't act like that. Don't sit
Yeah,
on
you
nobody's
you
lap.
you were cutting off her superpower. I always tell you that's their superpower. That's really all they have is manipulation and words. So you were cutting off her superpower. I get it, but I think like because I don't I try to put the medicine in the I try to put the candy in the medicine. But I think that the biggest thing is just just knowing there's a time and place for everything and everything isn't for everybody. Because you as a female they need to be able to get that emotional part off and that type of thing, but that's only with you know within this circle. You're not doing that with anybody, and then you're not doing that for every type of attention. So that was always how I went about it. But But I totally understand it, and I also give you a little bit of grace because I mean, you was doing this at a stupid young age too. So I get it. I mean, you don't know what you don't know, and there ain't no handbook to this.
Yeah,
Yo,
I good.
so it's crazy you said that because I'm going through the exact same thing like right now. And I caught myself saying that, like, yo, I don't want you to be like this or like that because I see the same like problem resolutions and like attitude and everything. Like it's all replicated. Like I was sitting there like, yo, I'm dealing with the same person. And what I can understand, like you said, I'm not, you was younger, I'm a little older, so I can, we think about it different now. But what I've been doing is like outsourcing like getting resources from outside of me, because as a man, I'm not going to understand certain things, certain buttons to push. You know what I mean? But sometimes you got to give them an example of something else. You can't just tell them like, don't do that, but they don't know what to do. They got to see another woman and how she moves and the things she does, and she bounce the issues off of her, and she kind of find herself within that. Just like how we talked about it before in another show, like how we look at different examples, different uncles, different people we knew around the neighborhood, and we kind of build our who we gonna be as a man off of that. So that's the same thing. Like with them, you gotta give them a different examples, different people, bring them around different people, bring the right people around them, and let them pull and find out who they want to be. You know what I'm saying? As a woman, and go from there.
You know, one one interesting thing about that is so I mean y'all all might know yeah. I'm related to, but so it's like even having those examples, right? It's different from when you can actually identify with the person. You know what I'm saying? I've tried to give her more credible examples that I thought would, like, oh, this would be better for her to model, or you know what I'm saying, that kind of situation. But it's like there's something about looking at the person that you're related to. You know what I'm saying? Looking at the person that you're born from. You know what I'm saying? Uh, all y'all know the story. Is I got tired of playing the game of this person's my dad, but not really my dad. You know what I'm saying? Like it got old to me. Eventually, it was a cool little game, and we played it as far as we could play it. But I can never shake the feeling of anything this person says to me. I can never take it all in because they don't have my toolkit. He don't look like me. He don't act like me. He don't walk like me. There's nothing I can look at and be like, this is an example of something I can take, something I can work with. You know what I'm saying? So I think it was the same with that. With my daughter's situation is even I was trying my best to replace her mother with somebody else, but I couldn't. You can't. You know what I'm saying? So it's a weird makeup, and sometimes it ends on the rebellious side of whatever.
So that's nature versus nurture. Like you're not gonna ever replace. You're not. The goal should never be try to replace them. You know what I'm saying? Them all because they're gonna. I mean, they're going to revert back to what they know anyway, like or who they are anyway. Like you're not going to change that DNA. But instead of it's you always saying like you said, like you need to do this or I need to do this. Like you can give them like a visual learning aid. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, listen, you see how she did this, or bring around somebody else because women talk to women different than we can talk to them. There's different things that they can. There's different parts that they can reach that we can't reach. You know what I'm saying? Is and you're not trying to change her, but you're trying to like alter some of the things that some of the habits that she may pick up. You know what I mean? But you're never going to change it. Still going DNA is DNA, man. You know what I'm saying? The apple don't roll far from the tree. That's the truest statement ever. But you can give her like you can help her recognize like, yo, when you start going down this path, you need to do this. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna always struggle with being super emotional or making bad decisions with emotions. But when you start doing that, then you can either take that or call somebody or call this resource and ask them. You know what I mean? You kind of showing them different keys, different things that help, but you're not trying to replace nobody. It's not gonna happen. That's just not.
For sure, and not even just like that idea of trying to replace somebody, but the idea of adding new pieces to their life, new experiences to their life. You know what I mean? People from different backgrounds to their life that can speak to those different, struggles and trials and tribulations, and overcoming certain things. I think those are key parts to to people's lives, because that's one thing. If you try to strip away something from a person's life, you're automatically going to get that that pushback, and you're automatically going to get that rebelliousness. But if you say, well, I have to let this be, but in addition to this, I'm going to throw this into the mix. So now you have a multitude of different outlooks that you can pick from. You don't have to, there's just one thing that you're pulling identity from. You have different things that you're looking at. You're like, whoa, well, that is me, but that's me too. Or, I can identify with that too. And now you have these different pieces that you're putting together to develop, who you are, who you are to become.
Yo, to Leifer's point, that's a really good point. Because they still love their mother. You know what I'm saying? And if you go too hard, it's almost like they're gonna rebel because of the love of their mother. They feel like you're attacking their mother, or this person trying to replace their mother. And with that love is going to cause a rebellion. That's a good point, Lisa.
That is a good point, and I understand it all, and I understand it to a degree, is to a point where I know it don't work. You know what I'm saying? But I was still like trying to be from a young. You know what it is? Me and Mo we all do this. We compartmentalize um these things of this don't matter no more. So we act like this doesn't exist. It really does. But we throw it out and think that we could just function. And I think we went through life so long with being able to be like, all right, this doesn't service me. Boom, you're out. You know what I'm saying? Or this part of me don't service me that way. I'm cutting it off. You know what I'm saying? So and I don't think women can do that like we can. I don't even think we do a very good job of it. I just think we do enough job to where we can identify like, look, I cut this off. You know what I'm saying? Like I cut off my arm so the rest of my body could, you know what I mean? Could be. And no, I don't need no arm. I don't need no arm. I'll get a prosthetic one. You know what I'm saying? We'll try to replace it. And I think we could do that. I just don't think it's in everybody to do that. And I don't even think it's necessarily healthy, because we're just really not dealing with the actual issues that are like hindering us.
Yeah, and that's funny, because that's another conversation that I just had with my daughter. And I think what you're talking about is suppression, and you're suppressing those feelings or those negative things that. And I feel like this part of the conversation, we should have had that doctor come back on, but a psychologist come back on. But you're suppressing that part that hurt you or that made you feel some kind of way, and now it doesn't. Because I mean, we all do it. I feel like to where it doesn't exist. Now you're just like you're moving on, but you haven't really moved on. Like it's still in you, and it's becoming a some kind of a mental or psychological thing where it's a trigger where certain things you see and now you react. It's like, oh nope, get away from that, and you haven't truly healed. And I was kind of talking to my daughter about that, because she's developing some of those characteristics where what I mean, she will suppress things to where she in her mind makes it feel like they don't exist anymore, but you can see it in her actions and how she's moving certain times. It's like, oh, something's bothering you, and you keep telling me nothing's going on, but something's going on. And it's part of that whole suppression thing, man. You could suppress it and push it as far to the inside of you if you want to, but it's eventually going to start to, what I mean, to come out as it internalizes more. It's going to start becoming external, and you're going to start seeing these behavioral changes and certain things happening. So I think those are all things that men and women can benefit from, is understanding that suppression is not the key. You got to kind of knock that wall down, and you got to learn to kind of talk your way through it and get to the other side, because eventually it's gonna become an issue in future relationships.
And at some point, even to go further, we're not as strong as we used to be. You know what I'm saying? To keep things down. Like I've kept things, I was able to do it, but when I started having panic attacks and dealing with that kind of stuff, I was just like, man, I can't deal with nobody else's retardedness. I don't have the mental strength or capacity to juggle everybody's problems. You know what? I'm just handling mine. You know what I'm saying? And Mo, you helped me a lot with going through, like you know what? I'm handling mine, right? I was coming at everybody. You're cut off, and you're cut off, and you're cut off, and you're like, cut everybody off, bro. It don't even matter. So it's what I think we built up this strength so long of suppression, right? We suppress this, suppress that, and then we just think. I think there's a cup where eventually it just overflows, and there's nothing you can suppress anymore, and that thing just bubble up and burst out.
So, man, I wanted to get all your perspective on this because I come at it from the total opposite side. From the whole suppression part, I get that there's a certain level of damage you can do from suppressing things or not dealing with things and not healing. But to Vic's point, I don't have the energy or the fight in me to keep fighting and trying to heal anymore on stuff. I mean, like, you know what? Look, I've tried, go that way. Like, and we'll see down the road if it comes back to bite me. But literally, there's some stuff that's just not worth me fighting anymore. Man, I remember I just got to the point, I was early in my 30s, and I was just like, yo, like I just became so like I always kind of had it in me, but I've been really like I start saying it like, yo, I'm not afraid to lose you. Like, go that way. And we were like, yo, like, what do you mean? I'm like, yo, like your replacements on their way. Like, or what you about to do? Like that was the one when I was like, yo, I'm being too cold-blooded. Yeah, I mean, I just did knock something down. I'm like, well, what you about to do? They're like, well, I was planning on staying. Like, nah. So stuff like that. So there's suppression and then there's compartmentalization, but some of it is just for your own safety and for your own well-being, man. So that's why I do some of it. To be determined if it takes a few years off my life. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I think for me, man, a lot of times, man, it just equates to less stress. And that's why I do it.
Stop eating that pork, and you'll get them. You'll get them years back.
Get my years back then. All right. Now look, man.
Salaikum salam, man.
Look, man, I ain't been to Mecca yet, man. I've been close, but
That wouldn't be a bad trip. The whole Mecca, the Mecca voyage. With everything else you planning, we like when we do like survival kits. I mean, the survival trips and stuff like that. I know. Y'all down for that? You down for that?
I definitely am, man. I'm kind of running out of places to go, so
I'm talking about the fishing trip and the survival, like in the foraging trip.
We can do it all, and you'll never run out of places to go because there are way too many untapped places on this earth. So you got plenty.
Hey, man, I'm all
places
ears,
to
man.
go,
I'll take
brother.
suggestions. I'll take
Plenty
suggestions.
Places. Hey, man, I'm with it. I'll ride with you for sure.
So what childhood Valentine's lessons have you guys learned through the process? I remember, I bought this little charm for this girl back in the day, 6th grade. It seemed like that middle school years. That's when we either get hurt the most or that's the most vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? We be suckers for love or something like in the middle school times. But I definitely bought this girl like a little charm on Valentine's Day. I didn't get nothing. She didn't even know I was getting it for her. And I think we were just hallway boyfriend and girlfriend, to be honest. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I got a little charm from Hills back in the day. It was $7. It was pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? But $7 was a lot of money back then. You know what I mean? Back in what, 95? That was solid. But what kind of simplest things did y'all do, like as far as growing up, and you know what I'm saying? And it was a Valentine's gift that you probably shouldn't have did.
Look, I got a good one, man. This is the story that I was telling you about that we was gonna come back to. So I'm young, and mind you, man, I had a single mom that was young, and she, I was supposed to treat every woman or girl like a princess. So I internalized this stuff, man. So I'm doing too much. And I don't know if y'all had it in y'all school, but for Valentine's Day, man, you could buy it was called carnations. So so man, for a person my age and for the area I was in, man, I was touching a decent amount of money. So I went out and I did a big meech and I bought out all the carnations, so couldn't nobody had none. And I gave them to the shorty or whatever. And but here's the thing, it created jealousy from other people, right? So I did this, and she gets the whole bag of them. They come to her home room and woo woo woo. So, and I'm stupid young. So, some of the older dudes was like, man, you just sucker. That ain't your girl anyway. So it turns out everybody was, having fun with the old pregame, and it only came out because I bought up the whole champagne or the whole Kardashians, and it couldn't nobody had none. So the joke was on me. I ain't been the same since, son. Like,
wow,
I ain't been the same since.
Hey, yeah.
To be what, 14 years old and spend $100 on carnations?
Yeah.
We didn't even get to the date part, like, because this was homeroom.
That's crazy.
I wash my hands. Like, if y'all grandma ever said that, I washed my hands with her that day. I ain't been the same since.
That's crazy. You bought all the carnations for her, and then lo and behold, the whole school done had a piece.
Yeah, the pregame.
What's up, Hit? I know you. I know you used to be a thug back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
I've been pimping since pimping been pimping, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something, man. I told him, make your next move your best move. Virginia's for lovers.
Tell her baby powder. Tell her baby powder.
You know what I'm saying? Man. I ain't so honestly. I wasn't gonna lie, man. I think it came from out of necessity because I ain't had no bread to spend, and I definitely, if I had some, I definitely wasn't spending on nothing like that. So, like I really like the most I would do honestly is get those little candies that had like I love you, like kiss you, them little, you know what I'm saying? I throw them the candies, dog. That was about, I mean, that'd be like the most extent that I go. I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. Because I hate to go out like Mo Better. And even as a kid, I knew better. I knew better.
My SIM chip was activated. Boy, my SIM chip be activated. Like, it's that whole nature versus nurture thing. Like, I almost gotta grab myself like you're doing too much.
Hey, man. I used to feel wild if I ain't get no carnations. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody give me no carnations. I would feel wild. Like, man, ain't nobody. And none of these little users, like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't get none. So I would be kind of mad a little bit.
But you know what's crazy though? I think we came up in the era where it really wasn't popular to trick off, to be like, it was like I ain't getting like that Snoop Dogg, like don't give them nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a lot harder. You know what I'm saying? Like people were harder. Like it was, you looked at as a sucker if you did stuff like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that. And, I don't think it was the right way to think. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it was the right way, but it was like it was viewed different. You know what I mean? Even as a kid, you coming up, you listening to like, Tupac, you know what I'm saying? Like Scandalous and like all these different, like these songs that kind of like build us to be like, nah, I ain't giving them nothing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't coming up.
You totally right.
This was a hell of a year.
Yep, you're totally right, because our era, they were so hard and everything like that. But I was raised by, a mother who was right before that, so she was R&B and filling me up with that and Babyface and all that. And then I was raised by my grandparents who was, hell, you get married at 18, and man, these chicks wasn't hearing that, was out here getting Euro stepped.
You want to know the funny thing? I wanted to be a sucker. And my mom used to tell me, don't trust them, don't do this, don't love. Look, Leafa tell you, my mom was ruthless. Don't forget these little yamps. Don't do this. Don't, like, she raised me to really not like women, for real. Like, you know what I mean? But I wanted to be a sucker, like, because I didn't necessarily respect what she was saying. She wasn't no man to tell me this or that. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only dude I had to tell me anything was my grandfather, and he said, woo your woman. You know what I'm saying? Like he was like, sing to her. You don't sing to your woman. So I mean, that's the only example. I mean, I had another guy who, but all I heard was terrible stories about him. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, this dude used to beat up on your mom and blah 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 blah. So no, I definitely can't be like him. You know what I'm saying? So anything he did was a negative. So my mom was like, hey, don't trust none of these females out here. Like, she used to lie for us. You know what I mean? Like, the girl would call, be like, oh no, I don't got no other body calling. Like, dang, man, you ruthless. So I mean, but I wanted to be a simp though. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just always in me. I mean, I wanted to be. I just
Congratulations.
You played yourself, huh? Yo,
you the hard way. You gonna learn. You gonna learn today.
You gonna learn today. You gonna learn today.
yeah. Look. I ran out of my little tenderoni phase in high school. I was like, oh, yeah, I mean, Mr. Carnation. Yeah, Mr. Carnation. He blew all his little per diem. I said, never again, man.
What's up, Leafer? What you got?
Nah, I was just gonna say, man, I don't know, man, because like how I look at it is, man, it ain't simping if you're getting what you need. So you know what I mean. It's just a different type of reciprocation. So and you was talking about the early days. I don't think I was doing anything in them early days. I don't think I did anything until probably like late high school. You know what I mean? And then maybe I would start doing it.
Your first heartbreak was in high school.
I wouldn't say my first heartbreak was in high school. It's probably after high school, but my first bout with what I mean, like splurging and going all out with stuff was probably in high school. Like I probably was doing, probably little candy grams and you know what I mean, a little carnation and them little, I love you or I'm thinking about you or I heart you, whatever, them little nasty candies or whatever. Well, I do that, but it wasn't it wasn't no crazy thing until high school, and then you know what I
High school,
mean.
you went nuts. Hey,
Yeah, I mean, high school
when Jay
it was
Z
just a
came
little
out
more
with the
different.
little pager, like when he was talking about it. Yeah, look good. Yeah, I'm about to put you on blast. This dude bought his woman one. He bought himself one, bought his woman one in high
Yeah,
school.
yeah,
It was two-way
yeah,
pay. What is that? Oh, it's a two-way pay.
yeah.
Like what? That's back when text
Hold up.
messages was a
What
nickel a character.
was
That's what I
that?
was
Was
gonna say.
that?
They
Hey,
caused
dang
back
it!
then.
They cost. They cost. So was that was I in high school then, or
That
was
was
I?
high
I think
school.
I think I was fresh out of high school though. I don't
Nah,
think I
we
was in
was
high
riding in the
school.
Sundance, baby. That was high school.
That was high school. All right then.
Hey,
Then
Master
yeah.
Shorty.
Then I was no because that didn't happen until it. First of all, if it happened, it didn't happen until senior year. So if it was either senior year or it was after high school because
It
I
was
ain't even
senior. It
meet.
was senior. It was senior year. It was senior
Okay, I was
year.
like because I ain't even meet her till. As a matter of fact, I think I was in culinary school, so I don't think it was then because I think I bought it the summer before I went to culinary school in Pittsburgh. So either way, it was right on the cusp of high school.
I
So you know what I mean. It
yo.
was there, but I definitely bought the matching the matching set.
Hey, remember? Yeah, remember when that time I came to Atlanta and we cruised the streets, right? That was our mo. You know what I mean? Like I would pick everybody up and we'd cruise the streets. So we're making our rounds. It's me, my cousin, and Leafer. He's like, "Yo, where we going?" I'm like, "All right, we got to go see this person. First, we got to stop and see my grandma. Then we got to see this chick, that chick, this chick, right?" He's like, "I'll go see your grandma, but I gotta go home and talk to my girl. Take me home." We like, bro, we on a mission. Nah, take me home. Like in the middle of this, like, dog, you can't be this in love. Yeah, he was hit hard.
Yo, that's
Take me home.
take that man home, son. That
Take me home. I already know what the mission look like. I already know what the mission
Jaheim,
look
you better
like.
put that
Don't
woman first. He was
don't
Jaheim.
even take
one
me
woman
on the
got, son.
mission.
The one woman got.
Don't take me on a mission.
He
I know
said,
what
he
it
said,
look
I'll go
like.
see grandma, but after grandma, take me, take me home.
Yo, you know what's crazy though? Like he said, like he's doing that in high school, and that's the crazy of the dynamics. Cause like in high school, it was like Cameron, dog. Like we listen to Killer Cam. It's like I got a heart and bubble gum. You know what I'm saying? Like you was like you was totally not in love, son. It was just like it was hard, man. It was hard on him, son. Like when I look back now, like the first time I really became a sucker was really when I got married, man. You know what I mean? When I went all into sucker mode, you know what I'm saying? Not saying if you marry you're a sucker, but you probably are. But you know what I mean? Like I just like, you know what I'm saying? It switched for me. And maybe I was trying to overcompensate for all the hardness that I had until then. I felt like you could be vulnerable, you can do that stuff, you know what I'm saying? You can do that, whatever. But like I just didn't see that. Not in high school, yo. Like I just couldn't see. I don't see it, man. I don't see me doing that not in high school, man. It was. Yeah, I guess that everything that was going around was just like it was so anti that. You know what I mean? It's anti Valentine, man. Straight up.
No, it was the how many can you knock down game for sure.
It
But
was a dog world, man. It was doggy dog, man.
yeah, man, we hit our mark. I think we got some good content for today. Anybody want to wrap up and say anything?
Hey, man, make sure you put in the effort that you expect to receive back, man. That's the biggest thing, man. The word of the day is reciprocate.
Reciprocation.
Reciprocate. Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
We need a little Webby song
that you want to see. Be the change that you want to see, man. That's it.
Hey, I wanna check the calendar to make sure that the 15th is not on a Tuesday. I just found out that's National Head Day, and I will be celebrating and participating fully.
No, so no, so this month kind of odd. I'm we're off on the 14th. That's next Tuesday. The Tuesday after that, we're gonna come back with the police officer conversation where we're just gonna have a conversation about how to respond with law enforcement and what we should teach our kids about interacting with law enforcement. I think we have this fear that even as a community that it's unnecessary in most cases, and that little bit of anxiety towards into that situation causes more harm than it needs to be. Like if we just be cool, you're more likely going to make it home. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know who's all been harassed by police if you was cool. I mean, you have?
Have I? I used to live across the street from the police station.
Well, Swiss, they would talk to us, they would say stuff, you know what I mean? But it wasn't like a necessarily,
It's gonna be a good episode.
Yeah.
Yo, why you asking like you don't believe him and you believe me?
Y'all got different backgrounds, but the same.
I'm sure we all had our run-ins, man. I've had plenty. So it will be a good episode. But I think we're all here still, so we all kind of learned, how to get home after encountering the police. But it'll be good for a lot of people, man, because sometimes people feel like their rights supersede the moment, and sometimes you just got to shut the up and make sure you make it home, and then get that lawyer on the back end to file a complaint. You know what I mean?
Period.
You don't need to be out here trying to be dangerous.
Tonight. I just had that conversation tonight. Your feelings ain't gonna guarantee you get home safe. So if you feel a certain way, shut up.
Handle on the back end. But yeah, another weeknight of Prototype Dad. Appreciate y'all coming on. See y'all in 2 weeks.
Hey man, you gonna do the simp day, huh? I'm gonna holler at you, man.
I know everybody got some sipping to do next Tuesday, so I'm
Chief Ashwagandha. Chief Ashwagandha.
Get your honey pack. I still got a box of them, $10 a pack. You need me to ship you.
Mr. Charles gonna be doing something.
Hey, Mr. Charles. Hey, what's the dude from I'm in the bind, Nate.
Oh, Percy Earl.
Nate, I'm in the bind from Set It Off. You know that scene from Set It Off? I need this money, Nate.
Yeah, with Jada, yeah. You know what I had to do for this money?
It's going down. Trickster's up. But all right, fellas.
Yeah.